Tsingy de Bemahara, translating as where one cannot walk barefoot, is a national park in Madagascar covered in huge rock formations shaped like needles protruding from the ground, formed millions of years ago by underground erosion into deep caverns. The combination of rounded surfaces and jagged spires makes for a haunting climb. This has provided the local wildlife with protection against human intrusion. The national park covers 930 square miles and is today a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Escalating the Tsingy seems far easier for the Sahka lino, a primate that evolved there and can easily jump between the spurs. In the 1990s, a French speleologist founded an organization to help preserve and explore the area. With the help of the locals, a set of suspended bridges and steel cables was built, allowing the landscape to be seen from the air. However, getting to the park is still no easy feat. Located on the remote west coast of Madagascar, Tsingy de Bemahara is only accessible by a dirt road, which becomes unavailable for 6 months a year during a rainy season. One can also opt for one of the two river routes, but it's worth noting that they are both infested with crocodiles. The giant gaping cave was found in Canada in 2018 and it was named Sarlacc Pit after the pit-dwelling beast in Star Wars. The discovery of the cave, concealed in the ground of British Columbia's Provincial Park, was a remarkable achievement for the explorers. The cave was first accidentally spotted in April during a helicopter Caribou counting fight. What's more remarkable is that the 320-foot-long and almost 200-foot-wide round hole managed to escape the detection before. According to the man whose company funded the initial survey expedition, it's because the site had been covered in snow year-round up until 20 to 50 years ago. Cavalli Hole is made the first and only known descent into the cave up to now, reaching 260 feet down as the deluge of the cave's waterfall prevented further exploration. Researchers estimate that the surge of the glacier melts that crosses down one side of the cave's mouth. Nearly 4,000 gallons of abrasive water per second helped the structure formation. Mountains the size of the Alps have been found in Antarctica, entombed in ice, suggesting that the ice sheet formed more rapidly than scientists initially thought. Using gravity and radar sensors, researchers created maps showing details of the Gamburtsev subglacial mountains, expecting to find flat plateaus eroded over time. They were amazed to discover an area with peaks and valleys resembling the European Alps. The presence of the ridged peaks suggests that the ice formed quickly, burying the landscape under up to 2.5 miles of ice. Hidden beneath Dome A, one of the coldest places on Earth, no one has ever seen the Gamburtsev Mountains. However, if all the ice in the Antarctica melted, their ridges and peaks would become one of the continent's highest mountain ranges. The mountain tops now measure almost 9,000 feet above sea level and would bounce back to more than 10,800 feet without the ice sheet. There are thousands of cenotes all across the Mexican Yucatan Peninsula, places once reserved by the Mayans as sacred walls and still an attraction for people worldwide. The Yucatan is characterized mainly by its limestone bedrock, a soluble type of rock that can dissolve after being exposed to water for millennia. The collapse of limestone sometimes reveals the cave underneath, marking the birth of a cenote. Over time, the caves filled with water filtered directly by the earth created lakes and stunning views. Since there aren't many rivers in the Yucatan cenote, were once a primary source of the water for the Mayans. They were also considered gateways to the afterlife, now making for a magical place for swimming and snorkeling. Located in remote mountain areas, most of the cenotes are difficult to access and sometimes remain undisturbed even by wildlife. Estimates suggest that there are more than 6,000 such places and less than half of them have been studied or even registered. Though we've reached the sky in exploration, very few have attempted to go in the other direction. We may know more today about stars and galaxies than we do about Earth's oceans. There are more than 30 deep-sea trenches around the world, and most can be found in the Pacific Ocean. In 2013, an expedition to the unexplored new Hebrides Trench in the Pacific revealed, with the help of high-tech cameras, the abundance of crustaceans and cusk eels that live more than 23,000 feet deep. Scientists said the eels have appeared in other deep-sea trenches around the world, but in extremely low numbers. The ecology of the Hebrides differ from the regions of the oceans that have been studied. The differences in the ecosystem is believed to be caused by the unproductive water above the trench, which many fish species are unable to survive. Gangkhar Puensum, meaning White Peak of the Three Spiritual Brothers, is the highest mountain in Bhutan, where its peak reaching almost 25,000 feet. Most sources say that it's located at the border with China. For many years, different maps showed it at various heights and even placed it in completely different locations. It is said to be the highest mountain in the world that has still not been fully summited by man. There have been 4 expeditions, none of them successful due to impassable terrain and sudden weather changes. The villagers say it was the spirit of the mountain that prevented the climbers from reaching reaching the summit. The peak has been unreached to climbers since 1994, when all mountaineering above 20,000 feet was prohibited in the century due to spiritual beliefs. In 2003, mountaineering was completely forbidden. Gangkhar Puensum still remained a mystery to man, with mostly aspiration and strange disappearances reported there. Machapuchare is a sacred peak for the Hindu religion. It's said that Lord Shiva, an important Hindu deity, lives here. The Fishtail Mountain gets its name from the shape of the peak as seen from a certain angle. As one of the last unexplored places on Earth, it represented a target for Western mountaineers who tried to conquer it. In 1957, Wilfrid Noy came the closest anybody has to the summit, but the king of Nepal asked him to respect the religious customs and not set foot on it. He and his companions turned back 150 feet short of the peak, producing the only climbing record of the mountain. The impact of the alpine climbing is much more understood today, with sites like Everest being completely overtaken by climbers. The religious status of the mountain may have had an environmental benefit too, leaving Machapuchare as the only pristine mountain peak in the Himalayas. Hosting Chile's wildest landscapes, the area hides untouched rainforest peaks, rivers and lakes. The field of Northern Patagonia is also home to one of the largest masses of ice found outside the polar region. The high elevation preserves the remaining ice field that once covered all of the Argentinian and Chilean Patagonian in the Andes. A team of scientists used polar ice monitoring satellites to determine that some of the glaciers of Patagonia are melting faster than anywhere else in the world, receding at the rate of 21 billion tons per year. Even though it is now retreating, the frozen area is still over 1,600 square miles. Several researchers and explorers have crossed the ice field over time, but much of its glaciers still remain unexplored. The Star Mountains is a massive mountain range extending from the Indonesian border to the Hinderberg Wall. It's a network of huge limestone plateaus up to 6,000 feet tall and 30 miles long that protects the area. The bluffs stretch for over 30 miles, creating a diverse and undisturbed wildlife habitat. The survey of the region found more than 1,100 plant and animal species, 100 of which were new to scientists. The area of the Star Mountain is believed to be one of the most wettiest on the planet, with rainfall exceeding 10,000 millimeters per year. 1/5 of Russia is covered by the Siberian Sakha Republic, also known as the Yakutia. The majority of the region lies above the Arctic Circle. The hard soil covered by permafrost makes Yakutia a deadly place to live. In July, some parts of Yakutia can reach up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, while the average recorded temperature can drop as low as -50 degrees. Sakha is one of the few places on Earth where mountains, rivers, and lakes remain untouched by civilization. The largest river system can be found there, preserving more than 10% of the world's wildlife. It's also the least populated area of its size, with the entire population able to fit into a single district of Tokyo. Fauna and flora dating back to the Ice Age have been preserved there, with 1,850 species of higher plants. Over 100 are considered medicinal and used in traditional medicine. Also unique are the horses of Yakutia, which can only withstand -50 degrees and find food under the snow. The ocean is the least explored place on Earth, so it's no wonder that vast portions have remained untouched by humans. One of those areas is the Mariana Trench, a narrow fissure in the seafloor located in the western part of the Pacific. The trench is the deepest known region on the planet and was formed millions of years ago. The Challenger Deep, located in the southern end of the Mariana Trench, is said to be the deepest spot in the ocean. It contains more than 20 underwater volcanoes, vents bubbling up liquid sulfur, and marine life adapted to pressures up to 10,000 times stronger than at sea level. Movie director, explorer, and ocean enthusiast James Cameron descended to 35,756 feet during his 2010 expedition, and he could have gone a little deeper. A high-resolution map published in 2014 stated that it bottoms out at 36,037 feet. This means that the deepest point still hasn't been seen. The US has jurisdiction over the Mariana Trench, and a protected marine reserve was created in 2009 by George W. Bush. Thanks for watching. Do you know of other places on Earth that are untouched by humans? Tell us about them in the comment section below.